Today is warm and sunny with a chance of clouds. Oh, by the way, I sent you guys an email.
I got it. The pill brown dot is not in any circles.
Yes, we're. Okay, hold on a second. I'm sorry.
I need to turn off my microphone. That's partially why. That would be a great presentation.
Yeah, we are on the bandwaves of speaking to the aliens. Don't mind us. Don't mind the screechiness. I adjusted my audio levels to 100%. I adjusted your audio levels to 0.
Yeah, I see.
Does it show you?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Yes, edit.
Hang on, I need to pull up the PowerPoint right there. Gotta make it big size. There you go. All right, you guys, you ready to make a fool of ourselves?
Let's do it. So we're gonna go in the order of this. This is the order of our PowerPoint.
But that is the order of our PowerPoint, right? So I don't need to worry about that. Worry about it.
What have we learned? This is the order of each PowerPoint slide that we have for kids meeting,
okay.
Essentially, because you are on that side. But and then I have the.
Do you guys have the PowerPoint pulled up?
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then I have
this. I
have this pulled up if you.
Okay. No. Because that would be definitely helpful to have.
Right.
That
So this is just
pulled
to
up.
make sure that we go in the order of the PowerPoint. We have this on our side.
Okay. Perfect.
But when it gets to like doing the history and the mission, I think we kind of do what we did before, where we just kind of, whoever was talking, just kind of, whoever had, you essentially wrote the history portion, so you should probably talk about that if you want.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have no problem just kind of reading because it's all kind of
In our heads.
It's a lot of information.
Okay.
But you definitely need to talk about the values, I would hope, because you know mostly about those.
Yeah, the zeal and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Okay, so that's slide 3. Slide 1 and 2. Do one of you want to take one each?
Yep, and then the rest I can, Teague and I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the first 2 slides though, for real?
History is yours.
Okay, history is mine.
Mission, what is the mission? Anyway, either of us can take that. Keegan, you want to take it or you want me to take it? You, Keegan? Okay. So, Cap, Keegan, Cap, I can do this one. And then we kind of all can do those. What do you think? Like before, so it sounds more chatty. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And then the only thing that we'll have to, when we get to team experience, all this, obviously, you'll talk about your experience and I'll talk, and then what we learned in servant leadership.
I learned I can fly.
I'm just gonna do that.
I learned that I cannot touch the sky.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, academics and non-academics alike, welcome to our presentation on St. Vincent de Paul, a lesson in servant leadership. My name is Kapil Tiwari Ramdat. For the sake of conversation and to make life easier, you can call me Cap. With me today, I have Keegan Carson and Jennifer Cox. They are my peers in this wonderful little endeavor that we have thrown upon ourselves in the pit of awesomeness. We're gonna have to change that for the real video. The History of St. Vincent de Paul. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul is a worldwide organization founded in Paris, France in 1833 by Frederick Ozanam for the purpose of serving the needy with food, housing, and guidance. St. Vincent de Paul is the inspiration behind the establishment of St. Vincent de Paul. He was an actual person. He was a legend in his own time and gave to his community by starting the first documented accounts of what is now confession. He dedicated his life to helping the poor. He was a community organizer, and he encouraged people who were wealthy to organize into groups to care for the community's poor and needy. St. Vincent de Paul was captured by pirates and became a slave. During his imprisonment, he prayed to God that if his life was spared, he would dedicate his life to the service of poor persons. When he was younger, St. Vincent de Paul tried to escape his humble roots and instead sought fame as a priest. This led to his mingling with the elite in society because of his charm, intelligence, and sense of humor. Because of his rise to fame and his embarrassment of his roots, he refused to see his father when his father tried to visit him while he was in seminary school. The inspiration between St. Vincent de Paul devoting his life to people, helping people in need, was a confession by a dying servant. In 1625, St. Vincent de Paul founded the Congregation of the Mission. He established many hospitals. And in 1633, he co-founded Daughters of Charity. After his death, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul was established in 1833, once again by Frederick Ozanam. The next thing we're going to talk about today is the mission of St. Vincent de Paul. And Keegan, if you want to talk a little bit about that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, the mission of St. Vincent de Paul is that the society is a charity, a Christian-based charity with voluntary organization working with the poor and disadvantaged people. And their mission was inspired by gospel values, and this organization leads women and men to join together to grow spiritually by offering person-to-person services to those who are needy and suffering.
What's wrong?
I'm changing needy to ending.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
after.
Nope, that's fine.
Don't you need to push the button to put him on the screen?
Didn't I?
No.
I don't think we'll see it, but I think he'll see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is why we're doing the practice one, just to make sure the other now. That is perfect. Missionaries of the mission, according to St. Vincent de Paul, should have 5 spiritual personal virtues. And those virtues are simplicity, humility, gentleness or meekness, mortification, and zeal. And because these definitions took place in the 1600s, or these virtues and the explanation of these virtues took place in the 1600s, the definition is slightly different than what we would consider the same today. So I'm going to go through and explain what St. Vincent de Paul meant by these personal virtues, and we'll go from there. The first virtue of simplicity is a virtue that means honesty. And this is honesty to oneself and those who the mission benefits. Humility is the act of being reasonable. It is said to be reasonable as a human and go forth with the mission, bartering and helping those in a way that is not coming from the stars, but from a place of goodness and in such a way that a plan is possible and action. Oh my God, I cannot speak. Let's take it from the top. Humility is the act of being reasonable. It is said that to be reasonable as a human and go forth with the mission, bartering and helping those in a way that is not coming from the stars, but from a place of goodness and in such a way that a plan is possible and actionable. Gentleness, or to be meek, is the sense and aura of not being intimidating, whether it be from a power stance or one of demeaning character. So this means that those who are in need of your services should be able to approach you and call upon you to help them in their moment of need. So gentleness is essentially approachability. Mortification is the virtue of self-discipline. This means that you embrace the qualities of being able to hold a schedule of structure and also be without greed or selfish ways. I think I'm going to go back to schedule because schedule sounds funny. Zeal is the virtue of being hardworking. This virtue is the backbone of the virtue mortification. Hardworking and self-discipline go hand in hand, but if you are hardworking and it cements you in self-discipline, as a missionary, you are more qualified spiritually. Now, these values of simplicity, humility, gentleness or meekness, mortification, and zeal are still seen today in all the members of St. Vincent de Paul. All the members that we have met, they're an amazing group. They're wonderful, down-to-earth individuals who are just overflowing with goodness and warmth. So the missionaries, as a little recap, the missionaries should have those 5 personal virtues while completing their mission. And this leads us right into our objectives and goals, which I believe Jennifer is the expert on. Jennifer?
Yes, so St. Vincent de Paul has, we found 4 objectives and goals. The first one is enabling spiritual growth and leadership development. Actually, this is fake, right?
Yes.
So when I talk about these, I don't necessarily want to list them, but should I say something more about each one?
Yeah.
Or can I just list them?
You can do whatever the hell you want.
So like.
Just talk about the slide. Honestly, I don't care.
Okay.
Just.
Enabling spiritual growth.
And if you want to read some.
If you want to read some, that's fine because they have the. Here's the deal: is they have the PowerPoint in front of them.
Right.
So if we're just reading out the PowerPoint, that's dumb. So just add some.
And leadership development, which is. Obviously through social services and volunteers, providing their time and efforts to ensuring that people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the second one is establishing, I'm not going to say that. And blah, blah, blah. Establishing collaborative relationships with diverse organizations that focus on poverty, promoting oh my gosh. Promoting I had a booger in my nose earlier. Let's take it out. Promoting
Well, that's good.
Promoting self-sufficiency by assisting with education, jobs, and homes, and identifying the root causes of poverty and advocating and working for change required to create a more just and caring society. So, and these 4 objectives have been extremely apparent, since we started volunteering our time there.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was beautiful, as always.
You're welcome.
I feel like we're on like a freaking like Saturday Night Live something or the other. Social issues.
Social issues. So
who's dealing with social issues today?
I can talk about that. So the community that St. Vincent de Paul serves are those that, oh no, we're not there yet.
No, this is more kind of what they help combat.
Yeah, the social issues that St. Vincent de Paul helps combat, that's addressing combat, are food access and insecurity, financial instability, poverty, and education. And especially in the area where St. Vincent de Paul is located, a large portion of the community is affected by these issues.
Yeah, isn't it the epicenter of?
Yes, it's the most poverty-stricken area in Iowa. I thought.
Yeah.
Is in Iowa or is most?
It's both.
Yes, it's pretty freaking poor over there. So I mean, obviously, we won't say that. So anyway, so that leads us to programs and services. Keegan, would you like to talk about that?
Yes, programs and services offered by St. Vincent de Paul are educational enrichment. So that would be what we kind of helped with. We did, the parents were in math or English classes and we watched their kids while they took those. But it's for a couple hours every week and it helped them so that they could go on and get their GEDs afterwards. The free childcare is what we did, and that's offered during those classes for the parents so that they don't have to worry about getting childcare and paying for it for their children while they're learning and trying to better themselves. The food pantry happens weekly, twice a week, correct? And they give a list of foods that people can get, and they come in and fill a box. And I know Jim worked with that. The thrift store, which is where Cap worked as well. They do clothes, games, furniture, anything along those lines, and social services. So if you're needing any help with your finances or things like that, mattresses, those sort of things as well, they'll help you with.
Perfect. And those thingies that Keegan just talked about, those programs and services that Keegan just talked about, they help our target population, which we've kind of already touched on. They are the underserved and disadvantaged individuals of society, low and middle income families, and those in need who may not qualify for services from other agencies. For example, if you have a family of 4, mother, father, 2 kids, family of 5, mother, father, 2 kids, and a little doggy, and they're just having a hard time getting their water bill paid for, this month because mom and dad were sick, and then when mom and dad weren't sick, one of the kids got the flu, and then a week later another kid got a flu, so they were, out of work for a good chunk of the month, and sometimes that's hard. What St. Vincent de Paul does is different organizations and agencies around the area who will not help a middle income family like that because they are not as poverty stricken as the other companies' guidelines demand. They can go to St. Vincent de Paul and get the help that they need. So St. Vincent de Paul is there to not just help people who are poor and need it, but enable the community to get back on their feet and do well for themselves and the community. That was really choppy. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Okay, target population. That was beautiful. That was horrible. Okay, team objectives. The really cool thing about the team objectives is that we will talk about the team objectives now, and then at some point, either right here on the slide or later on in the presentation, we will talk about how our team objectives could have differed as we learn more. So it was like application of team objectives. So and do that in real life. So Jennifer, if you would like to, if Jennifer and Keegan would like to go partners on the team objective slide, that would be wonderful, and then we'll go from there. Jennifer.
Okay, so our first objective that we made prior to our start of our volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul, we wanted to be able to appreciate the organization's dedication to serving those in need and less fortunate by obviously assisting with the various services and programs that they offer. We also wanted to examine and be able to understand the needs and challenges of the populations that they serve and how we could then use that information to be better and more effective servant leaders while we volunteer there.
Our other 2 objectives that we made prior to volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul were to discuss possible ways to get the word out to the community about the wonderful opportunities that St. Vincent de Paul has to offer, and to those who are, and to get that message out to those who are in need of the services, and to create an exceptional final paper and presentation that captures our individual experience and shows dedication to the mission of St. Vincent de Paul.
You guys, those were blinding team objectives. Okay, gotta stop that.
I can't do.
Moving on.
So.
You should do that.
Oh, I can't right now. Okay, let's move on.
All right, now that we got those blinding team objectives out of the way, we're going to talk about our team experience. We're going to talk about the food pantry, which Jennifer will head off. I will talk a little bit about the thrift store. There are 2 of them in the area, and I primarily participated in one. And then we'll talk about childcare. And actually, I have a story to tell my friend Keegan, because I think I beat him in making children cry. All right, Jennifer, it's all yours.
So for the last couple of weeks, I have been volunteering for the food pantry, and they operate on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7. And the volunteers that come and help assist in the food pantry, our primary role is to put together boxes that consist of, both perishable and non-perishable items. And depending on the size of the family, we put the food items into a cart. We take them out to their car and repeat. And generally, I would say each night we serve probably about maybe 15 to 20 families. I think it's, yeah, when we do the real one. I think that's pretty much it though. So yeah, it's been fun being able to kind of
sort tuna cans and produce.
Yeah, but it's I did a little bit of childcare too, which is it's obviously a lot different than when you're able to interact with the people that you're serving. So being able to joke and chat and just the kind of just even joking around with some of the families and talking to the children that are brought in, it's just a different experience. It's more interactive face to face. So.
Did you just say kids and children at the same time?
I sure did.
Okay, just wondering.
Because they're not the same.
They're not the same.
They're different.
All right, wonderful. Now we're talking a little bit about the thrift store. The thrift store is really cool because the thrift store here at St. Vincent de Paul, they are like any other thrift store. The community can bring in goodies and sorry. I saw a little phone in the corner. I was trying to figure out what the hell that was.
The what?
Oh. Yeah, I'm like, what is that little box? So the cool thing about St. Vincent de Paul's thrift store is the items that they bring in, whether it be furniture or household appliances or clothes, they are magnificent in quality. A little scratch, a little tear, a little stain will not go on the shelves of St. Vincent de Paul. The cool thing about that is that they don't waste them. They'll put them in these huge pallets and they'll ship them off overseas to other countries that are struggling and also need that aid. But the thrift store is really nice because they make money. They get revenue from selling these clothes or appliances or furniture or household items. And that money gets funneled right back into St. Vincent de Paul. There's not a lot of overhead. It gets funneled right back into St. Vincent de Paul for social services and helping the community. There are 2 locations here in the Des Moines area, one on 6th Avenue and one on Army Post Road. I went to the Army Post Road location and I talked to a lady who leads up that store. Her name is Elaine. Elaine is a very wonderful person. And the cool thing about what she did for her store, for that Southside store, was she has made it a pseudo antique store, which is perfect because a lot of the people around the community are older folks. There's an extended living home down the road. So she has set up the store to cater to her community population in terms of enabling people to actually come in and buy things and make extra revenue off of that. The 6th Street location, I believe they do something very similar where they have clothes and furniture and all that and household appliances and all that good stuff. But I think it's catered more towards this population over here. The really nice thing about doing this helping with this thrift store is I got to be behind the scenes in the back where they test and do quality control. So there were a few ladies who were looking through each item of clothing, and they were meticulous, looking over every inch, making sure everything was good, making sure it would be something that you'd find at Macy's or Penny's or any of the nice, pretty stores out in the area. They were great quality. And then what I did for a good chunk of time was I tested electronics. So if a coffee maker worked, we'd run some fresh water through it, make sure it worked, make sure nothing was overheating, make sure there weren't any burning plasticky smells. We tested out stereos and TVs and computers or monitors, and that was super awesome, because we were making sure that only good quality and decent things went on the shelves and were on the shelves for sale. So that's a thrift store in a nutshell. Most of their revenue goes right back into the organization to help with social services or other things that the community could benefit from. And then childcare, I'll have Keegan lead that and explain your experiences. But before you go on to that, I also did a little bit of childcare. And one of our little friends, Mia, I made her cry, and then she cried again, and then she cried again.
All on the same day?
All on the same day. The first day, I asked her not, what did I ask her?
She does not like to be told no.
Yes. You were there, right? I asked her not to poke out her sister's eye.
Oh, the one day I was there, she took the puzzle boxes and and
that was fun. And then after that, every time I looked at her, talked to her, she just started bawling. I think you were just screwing with me at that point. But it's all good. Anyhow, that's not going to go in the video. Your turn.
So for childcare, it was held in a room off to the side at St. Vincent de Paul. Jesus.
No, it wasn't a spooky area. Like, there's a staircase right there that you can tumble down.
So at the beginning of the program, when everyone had signed up and they brought their kids in for the first time, you had to do intake sheets for all the information on the kids and everything. And that's all in a binder.
I didn't realize they were a thing until 3 days into it.
And then we just watched two kids, Amy and Mia, during the 2 hours that we helped out. And we made puzzles, played games, drew, built forts. That's about it.
Yeah, they really liked the forts. And they kept breaking it.
Like to destroy things. Okay.
Perfect. All right, almost done, guys. Oh, here are some. We need another picture here. I have a picture of fishies. I need to find it and throw it on here. Okay, so here are a few pictures of our experiences with St. Vincent de Paul. Here I am playing with a, what in the world is that?
A boat. I don't know what toy that is. I've never seen that.
I think you were just handing it to her because she was crying, so you were just trying to make her feel better.
Yeah, that was after I made her cry her heart out. I think that was mean to her. And then, is it okay?
This one is actually this other picture. You're sitting like right there, and I had only gotten.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I've got a genuine. I have a genuine question for you right here.
Okay.
That second picture.
I honestly don't care. Can we use that?
I feel like that's because it's like the front of her face. I think that might be a problem. Like people are.
No, because the mom signed the thing.
Okay.
She did.
When I volunteered with Jessica that one time, was it Jessica or there was some blonde girl? She had the mom sign the waiver.
Okay.
It was one.
Jessica did?
I don't know if it was Jessica. I can't remember her name. But the mom agreed and she signed a waiver.
Okay.
So
it covers us.
So it covers her taking, because she even took pictures of her and whatever. That's why I went ahead and took a picture when. So they have it on file. That's the thing. They have it on file.
Okay, perfect. And also, we got a picture of there of It looks like Jennifer's at the Price is Right. She's like showcasing something.
That's a picture of. If you look in the front of the cart, those sacks.
Yes.
They each get a sack of like produce, and so those are all produce items.
Meat and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and then like bananas and
bananas
fruits and vegetables.
So what's in the box in your hand?
The boxes are each. They're pre-made and they have all the non-perishable food items.
Can they get these weekly?
They can get them come every 2 weeks. Yeah. So to get some, although this one guy came twice. No, yeah, one came the next week after, but yeah, they're only supposed to come once every 2 weeks.
Do you know St. Vincent de Paul teaches people how to use coupons? That would be awesome. You can get like coupons.
I don't know.
You can get like $50 worth of food for $3. As long as you do it right.
Okay. So, yeah, so that's that. The challenges and future implications for St. Vincent de Paul. How are we going to segue into that from our pictures? So,
here are some photos of us in action. Look at us having so much fun. I think it looks like I'm in the corner there playing with toys, and it looks like Amy and Mia are actually getting along this time, and it looks like Jennifer and Amy and Mia is with Keegan, that picture in the middle, and then it looks like Jennifer is showcasing her hard work here at the food pantry at St. Vincent de Paul on 6th Avenue. The cool thing about these pictures and these experiences is it has showed us a lot, and we have learned a lot about the challenges and future implications that St. Vincent de Paul faces. They face monetary contributions, volunteers, one-on-one mentoring. I think in this slide we should have like money song like playing in the background.
What you should say into that is the challenges and future implications, because one of our objectives was to get the word out about St. Vincent de Paul.
Okay.
But our group met.
Yeah.
But that's our group met with Andrew. So, and what they do need and the challenges they do face and continue to face are lack of monetary contributions and
somebody else should take this slide because I'm talking a lot.
Okay, well then I'll take this slide.
Okay.
Jenny. Okay. What have we learned? All okay.
Oh my God! There's a cute little squirrel there with a question mark.
Oh
Sorry.
God. Okay. So
just pretend that didn't happen.
Let's just.
So then we'll say and then so we'll. My God, can we please? So then I'll say so now. This has actually been a great learning experience, and I think so. I think what we're going to talk about basically is just what have we learned about ourselves? What have we learned about servant leadership? I'll go and start. I'll tell what I learned. We talk about what you learned. And then we can end with some crazy that Kat does.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Mercy College of Health Sciences. Okay. It is Sunday night.
Let's start on this. I gotta get back to this car. I'm sorry. I gotta get back to this car. Okay, so